Right, it is Friday morning at Buckmore Park, and as you can see behind me, if I step out of the awnings, it is kind of chucking it down. Yeah, testing's going to be completely useless because the race tomorrow is in the dry. So we'll get a little bit of wet weather practice, but oh, there's mist as well. It is well and truly getting to winter now. And if we go inside the awnings as well, and we have a look down there, there's actually a little stream and puddles of water forming in the awning as well. We've got a brand new fuel cap, so we can press this button and then the fuel lifts up, and then we can just close it rather than having to unscrew it and rescrew it. We've also got some nice pads to make the seat more comfortable. We've changed the setup because it's wet, and now we're going to get tyres off rims so we can get brand new tyres for the race on.
You reckon we fill it up all the way anyway while we're here?
Might as well.
With the car filled up with fuel, it was time to hit the circuit and start practicing. Ocean would be the first one to brave the conditions. And I can't lie, it looked pretty fun. There were definitely some puddles forming, and you could really see the spray being kicked up by the cart. You could also see the different lines being taken. Ocean was taking the standard line, while this guy went for a super wide line to avoid the puddle. There are so many different ideas, but you have to be the one who experiments and figures out what works best for you.
It is still absolutely chucking it down. Well, it's not really chucking it down, but it is very wet. There are a few puddles. It's not quite as bad as 24 hours. Ocean is out on the circuit at the moment, so I think I'm going out next. So I'm going to go get my helmet, get the cam box set up, and we'll see what it looks like out on circuit and whether we can actually match the pace or not.
So it was now my turn to go out on circuit, and it was super physical. I was panting into almost every corner, trying to get the blooming thing to turn.
It may not look like it, but I have just been out on circuit and I am a bit wet. To be fair, my wetsuit did alright, but as you'll see here, there's a big hole in the suit, and it means that my arm gets very, very wet. So yeah, pace was okay. We got a couple of okay laps in. We're about 1 second off the quickest guys, but I am bad in the wet usually, so a bit more time to find, but overall happy with that pace. So now just going to try to dry up for a little bit, as you can see all the vapor coming out of my mouth. But yeah, so Will's out on circuit now, and we'll see how he gets on.
With practice completed, it was time to get some brand new tyres on the kart for qualifying. With the track still wet, qualifying would be a drying session, and it would be an absolute nail-biter. However, Ocean wasn't feeling too confident.
Ocean, how are you feeling for quali?
Okay. You know, could be better, could be worse.
That is shit.
Sorry.
Depressing. Will's gonna have to put in the fastest lap now.
Yo, bro,
on his first lap.
I'm feeling so epic.
Gas, bro, I'm blessed to be out, man. I'm blessed.
So, I've got gods, Vishnu,
Honestly, it was meant to be, man. It was meant to
All of them on the side.
be. The moment I came out of London for you.
Okay, having
Buckmore Park, quality. Them 3 laps I'm getting on cold tires, I'm going to be the P1. Man.
So Will would be going out first so that he could get some dry running in before handing over to Ocean, who would be completing the majority of the qualifying session. Will was looking good and was even P4 at one point. However, the elite drivers were still yet to go out on circuit, so we weren't going to get too excited just yet. BPEC has 4 classes: Elites, Super Pros, Pros, and Clubmen. We're in Pro. Now, at the start of qualifying, a lot of the elite drivers hadn't actually gone out onto circuit. The reason for this is because the track was still improving and they wanted to save their brand new tyres for when the track would be at its absolute best. However, we wanted to maximize our track time because we hadn't had any dry running. So we wanted to make sure that Will got a little taste of the circuit while it was dry. With Ocean into the car, it was time to fire up the engines once again and send them out onto the circuit.
So we're currently P13, but we just got a penalty for speeding under yellow.
Who even gets a penalty in qualifying? I mean, come on, Ocean. You're an absolute choke artist.
So that's usually what I get, but pace looks good at the moment. So if we can stay around top 10, that kind of area, that'll be pretty good for the rest of qualifying. So we've got about 15 minutes left. How long's left? 17 minutes, there we go. We have just gone to the top of the pro leaderboard, so we've gone 7th overall. We've just dropped down to 8, but we're only half second off overall pole, so really good pace at the moment.
Ocean was starting to make up for his penalty by putting in some incredibly insane lap times.
Ocean's just got up to P4, he's on a 43.8, so he's less than 2/10 off pole. He's actually just rapid right now.
3, 2, 1. Oh, your stars.
So we've got 8.5 minutes remaining. We're still in P4 with a 43.8, and he's about to cross the line for 44.0. So he's still putting in really good time, and we're still P4 overall, first in class as well.
All of the elites were on track by this point, so we were genuinely looking at an overall top 5.
Qualifying is over. We are P4. We actually qualified P4. We've got a penalty for speeding under yellows. Who cares? But we will take that. So we might be starting P6, but that is the best pace we have had all year long. So absolutely ridiculous. Got to get the kart prep now. Tyres off because those go to park firmly, and then we're good to go.
I was pessimistic before quali, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
Said it might go good, might go bad. It went good.
You need to say that more often.
Yeah. Might go good, might go bad.
P4.
P4. This is what happens when you don't get BPEC merchants who know all the tracks inside out. They
True.
can't on-site a track. BUKC, right? We get 3 laps. We get 3 laps. We're born and bred. We're born and bred for sessions like that.
Yeah, 3 laps and 3 sessions a year at Buckmore.
Yeah.
I still can't quite believe that we got P1 in class and P4 overall. It's actually just insane. Ocean, what the hell? That was ridiculous. I've now lost my phone, so I need to find my phone.
Someone's just handed the phone in.
Did they actually?
It's got in the pit layer.
Yes! Thank you. So my phone's been found. We're back to being positive and not being stressed out at all. So get back to the Airbnb, freshen up, have some dinner, don't get food poisoning, come back in the morning, win, yeah.
But with Friday done, it was now time for us to say goodbye, send some kisses to our kart, before heading to the Airbnb and getting some shut-eye before Saturday.
So we're at the Airbnb, and I noticed something in the bathroom. There are 2 shower heads. And I was thinking, why on earth would you have 2 shower heads? And I realised, well, it's because if you and a certain someone are having a shower together, one of you can have hot water and the other one can have even hotter water. Thoughts?
If you set that one up there, you can get in there, and I'll put this one my height. Now this one can be my height,
Yeah.
because I'm littler. And you can be in there. I can do your eyes, you can do yours.
Banging. So yesterday my helmet dropped and there is now this big chunk missing out the look cool spoiler. So that's annoying. So we're in the weighing area. Those are the scales, and that is essentially the bit that tells us how much we weigh. So we're going to weigh the car along with all of us. So everyone's got some like nice fancy weights, and then we've got our cast iron, very shabby looking weights. What are you at?
186.
So you're bang on. There's a little bit of fuel as well in the car at the moment.
Yeah, but we won't run me that route.
I can chuck
Let me go.
Oh.
Boom.
Yeah, nice.
186.
After we weighed the car and figured out how much weight we all needed, I decided to take a little detour to show you guys what the best corner at Buckmore Park is.
This is known as the Sime Sweep, and it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's so fast, it's really flowing, and this curve is absolutely lovely. So, because we had qualifying yesterday, this morning we now have to do a shakedown. So it's like a little morning test session so that we can make sure everything's working before the race, because otherwise the race is the first session and we got no chance just to make sure everything's running on the car. So got the radio set up, 10 minutes of shakedown, and then we'll be jumping on into the race.
With the kart prepped, it was time for driver's briefing, and shortly after that, the shakedown. We brought Ocean into the pits after a single lap, but we were told that he had to complete an entire timed lap. So I had to stop the kart from rolling downhill whilst Ocean did, well, whatever Ocean was doing. Ocean came back and went back out on circuit to complete the shakedown. Now it was finally time for the race. As usual, we had a rolling start, and Ocean would be starting in 5th on the inside, which is really good for Buckmore, because it gives you the inside for essentially 2 corners, and meant that he would likely be in 3rd coming out of the opening lap. Now the first half of the circuit we couldn't actually see anything, so we had to nervously wait for him to reappear into view. As the karts came back into view, Ocean was up to 3rd, and my camera was being funny. Don't look at me! As the race started to settle in, Ocean was settling into 3rd. The leader was pulling clear, but Ocean was well in the hunt for 2nd place. He was looking rapid, and all I could do was give him info on the radio and try to keep his move up.
You're pulling, still got a good gap to the nail.
He finally made a move for 2nd place, and although I didn't catch it on camera, we were up to 2nd. 2nd place overall. This was absolutely insane, and we were starting to believe that maybe we could even hunt down the race leader.
So we're about 5 minutes into the race and Ocean's up to P2, trying to hunt down the 42 at the moment. We're pulling away from everyone behind, and if we can catch to the 42 we might be able to break clear, which would be absolutely ridiculous. So we're still in 2nd, but we now have our teammates in front of us and our teammates behind us. So no fighting is the team order, and yeah, MS123 at the moment, which is really cool. So Ocean's putting in an absolute stint.
However, we got the team order to let the 43 through, and we started to struggle and dropped down to 4th, then 5th, then 6th. But we were still in the train for 2nd, and that was the most important thing. Ocean was starting to find his pace again and was looking rapid. The 3 in the front were starting to break away, so we told Ocean that he had to go for a move, and he went for that move immediately. We were back up to 5th. Ocean now had to bridge the gap to the group ahead, which was nearly a 2nd, but his pace was electric and he was pulling clear of the 2 karts behind him. It was only a matter of time before he caught the group ahead. As they began to battle, Ocean closed in, which was huge, because it also meant that we now had slipstream. There was no doubt, for me anyway, that Ocean was the 2nd quickest driver out on circuit, but he had to try to navigate through the back markers and go for an overtake. We were in quite a unique position where we were leading our class and we were also leading the class above us. So there were 2 strategies that we could essentially employ. One, we could essentially let Ocean sit behind the karts in front of us, stay in the slipstream and pull away from all of the other pros and super pros behind. That would make sense for the championship, but for this race, I figured this was a once in a season opportunity to get a really good overall result. And if Ocean could get past the two in front of him, we'd be back up into second overall. So I started trying to convince Ocean just to believe in himself and go for the overtake. However, going for a move was proving difficult, especially with back markers. So for now, Ocean was sensibly sitting behind and staying in the train.
So we are about half an hour into the race. We're in a very, very solid fifth at the back of the train that goes up to second. So Ocean's putting in some really good laps, and we've pulled a really, really big gap down to sixth as well. So yeah, can't really ask for anything more from him, and he might even have the pace to actually climb to the front of this train and get back up into second. So let's see how the next 10 or so minutes go.
Unfortunately, second and third began to pull away and Ocean was stuck behind our teammates. It was high time for him to get past and try to catch back up to second and third. But then second had a mechanical issue and they had to come into the pit. Their Nassau panel had come loose and they had to try to take it up, which cost them at least a lap. Whilst we were all distracted with watching the number one car having their issue, Ocean had got past our teammates and was only a few seconds behind the number one car who had just exited the pit. He now had someone to chase down and pull himself further ahead. And fair play to Ocean, he was catching the number one car. The reigning B-Pit champions being driven by Sam Spinell, who's also the Sprint ProKart champion. Ocean was catching them. It was absolutely insane and we were going crazy watching this.
So we are about 50 minutes into the race now and we're still running in P4 because the number one car had a mechanical. We've got past our teammates of the 43. We're pulling from them, but we're trying to hunt down the 318 team paint car, but the gap's staying about the same. And the number one after their mechanical, they've come out of the pits just in front of us, but a lap or two down. And Ocean has slowly caught them up. He's now pretty much onto the back of them, but every time we get to back markers, we just end up losing a tiny bit. But pace is absolutely fantastic. And as I say that, he's right on the back of Sam Spinell heading to Garda. So yeah, things are looking good and you can see the 318 up ahead, so he knows who he needs to chase down.
It was then our teammates' turn to have bad luck with an engine issue and they had to come into the pits. They had to start up both engines on the trolley so they could figure out which engine was having the issue. After identifying it was the left one, they quickly got to work. They had to undo both of the engine bolts, take off the throttle cable, remove the chain, disconnect the fuel pipe before taking off the engine, putting on a new engine, reattaching everything, and then they would be ready to go out. But as they left the pits, the driver looked at the right engine and the team slowly realised that there was also an issue with that engine too. But by the time they figured it out, the kart had already left the pit and they had to do another lap before coming back into the pit and changing the second engine. Meanwhile, Ocean was continuing to be in stealth mode because while our teammates had an issue, Ocean had overtaken Sam Spinell. We were now comfortably in third place.
So we're nearly an hour and 10 minutes into the race. Ocean is still in third. He's about 5 or so seconds behind second, but he's got a big gap to fourth. But we're nearing the pit window, so we need to make sure we get this absolutely spot on. We don't know how far the fuel's going to go. We think it could go 1 hour 30, but we did 5 minutes of warm-up, so we're looking to pit about 1 hour 20 just to be safe, and then we'll see where the fuel is and figure out how long we want to go in the next stint. So yeah, going to get ready. Let's nail this pit stop.
The pit stops are usually where we tend to lose time, so we were really nervous. Ocean came in nice and quickly, he got the kart stopped at the weighbridge, and then he had to wait for a thumbs up as the weighbridge finally came round to giving a figure before we could push the kart to the fuel bowser. The driver then has to jump out of the kart quickly because we can't fuel the kart until he is out. We had a nice drink prepared for Ocean as well as he was double stinting, and now we waited. Once fueling was done, we quickly pushed the kart to the engine startup area. Ocean jumped in, we were away.
So pit stop is done. We had a good pit stop, 1 minute 20. The fastest that we've seen so far is a 1:19, so really, really good. We're effectively still in third, but we're still waiting for first and second to make their pit stops, and then we'll see if we've gained or lost relative to them. But so far so good, and Ocean's still putting in good lap times. But yeah, loads of people are having issues around us, whether with engines or other stuff, so it's also a little bit nervous, just hoping that nothing happens to ours, and there's no real management or monitoring or anything that we can do, so we just have to keep pushing 110% and hope that nothing breaks really, and make sure we do all of the pit stops properly and make sure we don't mess anything up there.
Ocean had started his second stint in the exact same way he ended the first. The pace was insane. He had come out behind the number 1 kart again, and he was just sitting behind them and trying to push them along as they carved through the traffic. With Ocean's stint nearing a close, it was now time to hear how Will felt about his coming stint.
So Will, you're taking over from third, a lap ahead of fourth. Any pressure?
I mean, given how quick he's been, probably like the third, fourth, just got out of there.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of pressure, because I'm hoping it's not just him.
You're going to be the quickest out on circuit, right?
But if I can get like a couple of tenths of Ocean, I could be. That's the plan.
Yeah. And the tyres are obviously going to get even better as the race goes on. He's still rubbering them in.
No, you're lying. You're lying to make me look bad.
No.
They're going to gradually get worse and worse. Do you think the lap I go out, I think they usually like a big drop off in time for me.
Right. Well, we know from yesterday that you're very good at bringing tyres up to temperature. So if you could do that for me, for my stint, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah, okay, that'll be the best shape for your stint.
Perfect, thank you.
Expecting a lot.
Ocean was still flying, and I was getting bored, so I started telling jokes, and bad ones.
Ocean, you're going too fast. They might move us up to elites now. Our second pit stop is now done. Unfortunately, we had some issues. Ocean came in underweight by a few hundred grams, so that's a 1 lap penalty. And on top of that, our fuel cap system didn't work, so a bit of it broke. So in the middle of the stop, we had to figure out what to do, which was just take the system off and put the old cap back on. Thankfully, we had it taped to the steering wheel, so we only lost about 20 to 30 seconds. But because Ocean had built out such a huge lead, we're still actually running in third place. So yeah, it's really, really good. And we don't have a buffer now, but you know, we use that buffer for one of our mistakes. So hopefully that's the last one of the day. I thought I'd get the hero of the opening 2.5 hours on camera. How was it?
Pretty good.
You're great at interviews, aren't you?
Yeah. To be honest, it felt more the kart was good than me. So
Would you like to...
that's a good omen.
Do you want to explain why you were underweight?
No.
Understood. From now on, every time we use the toilet, it has to go onto a set of scales so we know how much we've lost.
I've had 4 shits this morning, that's why.
To be honest, we had kind of forgotten about Will. He was putting in really good laps, but he was by himself, so I decided to go and get myself a snack.
It's about an hour before I'm going out, and I have found myself some cereal. So I've got my container that I use to bring some fruit with me. We've got some cereal in there, some milk. I found a spoon. We are 3.5 hours nearly into the race, which means Will's going to be pitting in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Still in third. We are 6 seconds ahead of fourth despite all of the issues that we've had. So yeah, doing really well. We're 2 laps off the lead, which is a shame, but again, we're doing everything that we need to. We're putting in pretty consistent lap times, like 44.3s, 44.1s, and the leaders are doing like 44 deads. So yeah, pace is good. Once Raid Graphics catch us, which I think they will, maybe in about 15 minutes, it should give someone for Will just to tag along with, and hopefully find like another 10th or so a lap. But yeah, can't really complain with where we are, considering everything that's happened. Helmet is on. We're about to go out onto circuit in about 5-6 minutes, and then yeah,
Do you want to do a radio
bring it home. Yeah, we can do a radio check.
Look after the brakes a bit for the spin.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
Yeah, perfect.
Whilst the BPEC marshals were play fighting, Will was into the pit. We needed to nail this stop, same as all of the others. He was out of the kart quicker than a celebrity from a Diddy party, and the fuel hose was in, quicker than the US Army going into a country with an oil reserve. The kart was then pushed along faster than a Marvel sequel is announced, and I jumped in faster than a college girl who had just discovered OnlyFans. If Ocean was a hero of the first stint, Ocean's dad, Mike, was a hero of my stint, as he recorded me nearly every single lap. So here is a collection with a new voice to be added to this channel.
And here we are, 5 hours 54 into the race. Yusuf is on track. Okay, 5:53 in. Here comes the track, and there goes Jason. Rock and roll.
I was flying on circuit and I'd quickly caught up to the 58. I got a good run and I sent it up the inside into Garda, and a couple of laps later I had already built up a nice lead in third. Whilst I was vibing, my teammates were lying to me over the radio.
Hello Yusuf, hope you're doing well. As I'm recording this, you've just done a 44.211, which is pretty impressive. I would be telling you your position on track, but I'm not, because the person you're chasing down is the only person who's quicker than you on track. So I hope you're not pissed off that I've not told you the full truth, but you're effectively running in P4. The number 17 is ahead of you. Well, the number 17 is like 30 seconds behind you on track. We have a lap penalty, but you're the only person quicker. You do a 2, he does a 1. I mean, you're doing great, but I'm not telling you the gaps for that very reason.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Ocean definitely made the right decision by not telling me that I was losing to the kart that I needed to chase down. But as Ocean had mentioned in the clip, our lap penalty hadn't been applied yet, so whilst I was third on circuit, we were effectively down in fourth. I really needed to get my head down and catch this guy. As my stint continued, I caught up to this big train of karts and I made steady progress through the traffic.
Yusuf's lesson on how to go through traffic. Final one on that corner, done it. He got him.
Having got through the traffic, it was time for my final stop. 7 hours down and 1 hour remaining in the race. I was nice and quick into the weighbridge and the pit stop was fairly slick. The guys had brought some water for me, but I wasn't really feeling it. So it was straight back into the kart for the final hour of the race. My final stint had started great. The pace was there and I was flying through the traffic like no tomorrow. Then the good news came in. The 17 kart, which was in third, had pitted and made a driver change. So they weren't quite as quick as before, and I was starting to catch them. The timing screen still showed us in third place, but we knew that there was a 1 lap penalty to be applied. So we had to lap the 17 kart to secure the overall podium. For now, I had to keep hustling. The gap was down to under 10 seconds, and I could see the 17 ahead of me. I remember telling Ocean on the radio, keep telling me the 17's lap times every single lap until I am within 2 seconds. I wanted information and I really wanted regular updates. I was gaining by a few tenths every lap, and eventually I was within 2 seconds. I was really hyped and the team was really pumped. I had the pace, but now I was wondering, would the 17 defend? I was pretty sure that they didn't know we had a 1 lap penalty to be applied, so I was expecting this to be a relatively easy move.
Oh, that traffic's good. That traffic is good.
Finally, there was a break in the traffic. I was ready to go for an overtake, and of course, I'd do the overtake where the camera couldn't see me.
He's done it. He's ahead. He's ahead. Third place, even with lap penalty.
So race is done. We are P1, P3 overall. That was something insane. Bloody Buckmore Park, hate it. Always gives some really weird results, but we'll take it. So we are in scrutineering, so top 3 of each class have to go into scrutineering and take stuff off. Will is taking off, what do you call them? Sprocket protectors.
Oh, hang on. What's happened? What's happened here?
No.
What's happened here then, boys?
Oh god.
Fuck. Back.
Was that all the curbs I was taking?
It was like that.
I thought it was welded on.
It was like that. And then I went.
Yeah, it's meant to
And
be
that's the one with the.
like that. Okay.
It wasn't an 8.5 hour race or a 9 hour race. That may well have been off.
Yeah. Stay off the curbs, they said. Me, hit every single curve on the next lap.
So,
How were your stints? How did you find Buckmore Park in a BFET kart?
You've got to stop.
I was, I'd say the last 20 minutes of my second stint, I was a bit soggy because you don't get a break round here.
No.
But the rest of it, yeah.
Is your neck going a little bit?
No, it's not my neck, it's just my entire setup. but I can't really
My hands were getting like super stiff.
Well, let's get around. Let's do it properly. Let's do it again.
Finally, after all of the bad races, off the pace, absolutely nailed it. Kart was fantastic. P3 overall, P1 in class, that's just mental, absolutely mental. My neck is gone. I need to grab some water. We need to finish off scrutineering, and yeah, we were actually really close to the weight limit as well at the end, so we were 185, which is the weight limit, so we almost were underweight for the second time, but yeah, we'll take it.
Right, moving on to Pro for fastest lap today, number 15, MS Urban Blue.
Hey.
We'll get one later. Nice trophy.
We're only allowed one a year.
Yeah, we got.
Is Joey going to allow you to put that on a mantelpiece?
Yeah. Maybe this can go in the house, not the conservatory.
First in class, number 15, MS Urban Blue.
So, well, any final thoughts then for the video?
maybe Buckmore's our lucky track. Apparently we're all local. Ocean from Blackpool. Apparently it's his local track.
Yeah, Ocean, who has to drive 6 hours to get here. Me, who's got to drive 2.5 hours.
I'm about an hour away when I was younger.
Yeah. Oh, it's because Ocean's dad's local. You're the local one, aren't you?
No, but I'm Blackpool, but I'm going to drive 3 miles to see a mate in the pub I haven't seen for 20 years. And
Okay.
we're gonna have beer tonight.
I think that counts as local. Ocean, final thoughts?
Let's go.
Let's go. So that is Buckmore Park done, and the trend of Buckmore Park continues in. I always get some stupidly good result here. I guess we need more Buckmore Park, as much as I hate to say that, but yeah, it's been good. But that's everything. Also, beanies, you can get one. Oh, I hate plugs. Maybe I'll just cut it out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, more videos to come soon. Drop a like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and ciao. Assalamu alaikum.